This is part 6 of my 2-month-long road trip where I went to 16 different states living out of my vehicle. In the last couple videos, I was exploring Utah, both northern and southern. Then I made my way through Las Vegas and eventually got to LA where I met up with one of my friends and worked my way up the coast. I was in San Francisco for about 4 days and then drove up the coast to Oregon. I saw some seals. I didn't know what they were at first. I just saw some big noise. There's one of them just chilling out there. So yeah, I was hyped over seeing some seals. That was my first time ever seeing them, so very cool experience, but then I found my spot. Good morning, everyone. It is another day out here in Oregon. It's raining a little bit. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but honestly, it's okay with me. It's like the only day where it's actually raining this trip, so I'll take it. But I am out here on a nice forestry road, nice and secluded. Pulled over last night, parked. Everything went good. You know the deal. We're chilling now. We know what we're doing. So yeah, I'm gonna go up the coast north to Newport, and then I'm gonna cut over to Portland, check out Portland for a little bit, then start heading north again, go to Washington, and then hopefully tomorrow will be Mount Rainier, which is the reason I came on this trip. So yeah, well, it's not the main reason, but it was the final destination that I wanted to go see. So yeah, I'm excited. At this point of the trip, I definitely needed to catch up on some laundry. I had a suitcase, as you could see, so I just did that quick and then found the closest skate park. And if you haven't seen my other videos, this is just a hobby I have, kind of like skating, but just with handlebars. I also just like checking out skate parks in different states. They're so unique. Like this one, for example, had that wave-looking bowl, but then I made my way up the coast, continuing getting closer and closer to Washington. I'm all set up for the night. I got the drink, I got the food, I got the views. What more could you ask for? But yeah, it's my last day in Oregon. I didn't make it to Portland. I'm just gonna go to Washington tomorrow. But for now, I'm just enjoying the last day on the coast, taking it in. But yeah, this is where I'm gonna sleep. Pretty sweet sleeping spot. I didn't film much in between these, but I went to sleep and then this is me in the morning. But yeah, I just thought I'd take this last day on the coast to show you what it's like to spruce camping on the coast. It's very sweet. Like I said, free. There were 2 Sprinter vans in front of me, maybe 100 yards up. Just parked a little back. Got the sunroof there. We're chilling. Or the sun visor or whatever. We're chilling. No one even bothered me. Absolutely beautiful view to wake up to that morning. I went ahead and went for a walk on the beach since it was just a short walk away. Of course, I had to walk in the water a little bit too, so I took my shoes off, but then I started driving and saw a bunch of bikers. I think it was National Go Bike Day in Oregon or something like that, but there was a bunch. And I know I said earlier in this video I was going to be going up to Washington, but I did end up stopping in Portland. Just because at the time I didn't know if I was ever going to be back in this area again, and I really wanted to check out the city. I also found a street spot to scooter on and rode around with my scooter in the city a little bit. It just helps me explore a little bit better. And that night, I ended up driving over to the state of Washington because I was very close. Finally, I am in the great state of Washington. I am at Yale Lake in Washington. I drove in from Portland yesterday. Not a bad drive. Ended up finding a nice spot. It's just parked right up there. I was exploring in the morning, got all set up and everything. But the plan for today is to go to Mount Rainier National Park. It's the whole reason I went on this trip. Not the whole reason, but I should say the end destination. So that's where I'm gonna be going. Then probably exploring Washington a little bit more later. Probably the next day or the day after that, go to Seattle or something like that. Not 100% sure. We play it by ear, but we always have fun, so that's all that matters. And yeah, when I was in Portland, what I did is I basically scootered the majority of the time. I kind of explored the city a little bit, but again, I was on my scooter and driving most of the time. Anyhow, we'll get the day started, and then I'll probably scooter some more in Seattle whenever I go there. Alright, I just pulled over on the side of the road. I don't know if you can see that from there. I don't know if my head's blocking right now, but that is Mount St. Helens. It's on the way to Mount Rainier. Found a little pull-out stop, so I pulled out. Pretty cool. It is currently the next day. I am still out here in Washington. Probably going to be in Washington for a little bit. However, I did not make it to Mount Rainier yesterday. Reason being is I took a back road to see Mount St. Helens or Helens or however you pronounce it. Not really sure. Still a very cool drive, but maybe 40 minutes from Mount Rainier, the road was closed. And it was the only road leading to Mount Rainier, which I was pretty pissed about. But like I said, it was a good drive, so it wasn't too bad. Kind of vibed to some music, but I had to backtrack like 3 hours the way I came, past where I slept, go an extra 40 minutes, hop on Highway 5, then come the same way, just a little bit further. So by the time I did all that, it was about 7:45, 8 o'clock. I figured it was better to just pack up for the night and settle down. So that's what I did. I have made it to Mount Rainier National Park. However, the route I took, that maps made me take, I should say, entrance was closed, yet again. So I enjoyed the view of Mount Rainier while I had it, but it turns out that road was closed for a couple weeks. But I did realize there's a national park that is close to it, which is the North Cascades, so I ended up going there the next day. And this is the spot I found for the night, which was inside of a rainforest, so that was super cool. I am still in Washington, this beautiful little forestry camping spot that I found last night. Nice spot. Anyway, I went to Mount Rainier yesterday, however, the road was closed. Seems to be a reoccurring theme, but it was closed. I still got to see it outside of the road, saw some photos, looked at it for about an hour, so I did still see it. I walked around for a little bit, so I'm satisfied with that, but I'm going to try to hit it on the way back just because it is kind of en route. But for today, the plan is to go to the North Cascades, which is maybe an hour north of me right now. It's actually pretty close to the border of the British Columbia. But I'm actually not going to be going there. That's alright though. I was going to go there if I had time, but the Seattle Street Jam is tomorrow for scooters. I'm really excited for that. I just found out about it, but it's a huge thing. I love scootering, so I'm happy to have the opportunity to go. So I am super excited for that street jam tomorrow. I'm probably going to film a little bit, not too much though. I don't have that much storage on my phone. Just show you a little bit. I'm not going to film the entire jam. Another thing that's super cool that we don't have in Wisconsin, I don't know what states do, but they have like moss on them. I don't know, it looks sweet, especially when the sun hits it. Like, it's like a green tree because bark is usually brown. I eventually made it to the North Cascades National Park, and this is kind of just the visitor center. It had a bunch of information about the history and wildlife of Washington, which was super cool to me. I have now made it to North Cascades National Park. If you look behind me, you can kind of see some discoloration in the trees there. At first, I thought it was just the colors for the fall. Then if you look at this one, you can see that's all burnt up, that's partially burnt up, and that's not. So that's from forest fires, which is crazy. But I'm looking at this beautiful lake right now. Let's go out and get a better view. Beautiful views, beautiful blue water. And this is Diablo Lake. It's blue from all of the glaciers and absolutely beautiful. Unfortunately, there was a forest fire though. I was there for about 5 minutes, and at first I thought it was a cloud, but next thing you know, it just started getting bigger and bigger. I remember being the only one to kind of notice it for the first 5 minutes until it really expanded, and then it was obvious that it was a fire. There were some helicopters, but when it's a fire of this scale, it's really hard to maintain, and it's just super sad seeing this in such a beautiful location, but unfortunately it does happen. I wanted to work my way away from there just so I was safe, so I ended up driving a little bit more and found this absolutely beautiful spot. We actually out here with it. See what I'm saying? But this is probably as far as I'm gonna go for the North Cascades. I'm gonna meet up with some people from Wisconsin that are coming to Seattle for the street jam tomorrow. Anyway, I'm gonna meet up with them tonight, so and get going. Alright, I did go a little bit further than I thought, but well worth it because look at this. Anyhow, I am going to be turning around shortly. I have like 80 miles of gas left. So I got to hit up a gas station and then I'm going to go meet up with some buddies. But the view is never going to get old, that's for sure. Now, I mentioned there was a street jam in Seattle the next day, and for a lot of you, I realize you don't know what that is. Basically, just imagine a Go Skate Day, but for scooters, and it's just in an organized spot, so Seattle was the location this year. There's typically a bunch of different cities throughout the summer, and this one, some of my friends from Wisconsin came down, so I met up with them. It definitely felt good to see a bunch of friends again, but if you don't want to see this part, just go ahead and skip through. After the jam, we pretty much rode a couple skate parks, and then they had a video premiere inside of a bowl at another skate park, which was super cool. Definitely one of the better experiences from the trip so far, and it was awesome seeing friends from back home. The next day we explored Seattle again, and my friends were in town until Monday, and it was currently Sunday. They also had an Airbnb with one open room because someone canceled last minute, so I was able to stay there just in return for driving them around, which was a win-win. The next day was a little bit cloudier, but we went to Olympia Park, if I remember right, and looked at all the sculptures, which was super cool. Seattle was definitely growing on me, and just the way they designed the city was beautiful in my opinion. Eventually, I dropped my friends off back at the airport and then found my spot, which was kind of sad because I am now back by myself. But I was very happy that I was able to meet up with them and hang out with them for the weekend. Good morning. I was just about to leave the camping spot before I did a little update on the vlog. I was just at the Seattle Street Jam. I hung out with Toby and Brian for about 3 days. I didn't really talk at all. I kind of filmed some things, so I'm sure I put it in there. Went to the jam. That was insane. Here in nature again. I am slowly making my way back home. I'm gonna go to Spokane today, or Spokane, however you say it. It's right on the border of Idaho. And then from there, Yellowstone, Mount Rushmore, and then home. So yeah, just giving a little update. I'm still out here in Washington right now, but the jam was awesome, like I said. I went on a couple short hikes in the area and eventually started working my way east and found my spot for the night, which was close to Spokane. This is what the spot looked like in the morning, a beautiful lake, and I can't remember the name of it, but then I checked out Spokane. Good morning. I'm waking up here in Idaho. I didn't talk at all yesterday, but I went to Spokane, Washington. Very cool place. Got some clips, filmed on the Riverwalk a little bit. Very cool place, but as you can see behind me, I'm in the natural forest. The Panhandle Natural Forest of Idaho. Very beautiful place. Got some nice mountain ranges behind me. It's where I ended up staying last night. I see a tent way at the bottom of the mountain. That's pretty sweet. But yeah, so today I'm just going to Montana. I'm going to be getting pretty close to Yellowstone, and then the next day or the day after that, I'm going to be spending some time at Yellowstone. So looking forward to that, but in the meantime, I got some driving to do. I'm going to hit up a thrift store. Been kind of doing those recently, finding some cool stuff, so that's what's up. But yeah. Alright guys, we made it to Montana. As you can see, back there, right there's the Idaho sign. It's the state border. I had to take a stop. Eventually I found my spot in Montana, but that's going to be it for this video. The next one will be Yellowstone and Wyoming.